Hi there. It's June the 11th, and we're continuing our journey through the book of Acts of the Apostles, and we're in chapter 7, and we're finishing off chapter 7 from verse 51 and reading through to chapter 8 and verse 13. So here in this reading, we've been following Stephen's defense before the Sanhedrin, and now his defense comes to a boil, and he openly accuses them of resisting the Holy Spirit and of not listening to him, and of rejecting the good news that Jesus has brought. And at this, the whole Sanhedrin are incensed. It says they're cut to the heart, and they just fall on Stephen. They drag him outside and they stone him to death. As he's being stoned, Stephen has an amazing vision of Jesus at the right hand of God, and he echoes the words that Jesus used when he was being crucified on the cross. Father, don't lay this sin to their charge. Forgive them. They don't know what they're doing, as Jesus said. And then he dies, and as he dies, there's a young man, it says, called Saul, who is there. He's a Pharisee and a zealot for God, and he's standing there assenting to what they've done to Stephen. And actually this provokes Saul to then apply for permission to do this to others in the church, and so Saul becomes a great persecutor of the church. And it says a great persecution breaks out in Jerusalem on that day. They're going to put the lid on this once and for all. But what this persecution does is it scatters the good news into Judea, but also into Samaria. Now that's quite key, because we know from the time of Jesus that Samaria is a separated people. Jesus has been to the Samaritans, remember, in John 4. He's been to speak to the woman of Samaria, and there have been people following him in those villages. So in a sense, this is not completely new what Philip is doing, but it is a break, because he's going to a place which is now beyond Israel. The Samaritans are sort of renegade Jews. They're not seen as pure Jews, but he's taking the good news of Jesus to the Samaritans. And there in this city, many believe, and great signs are done. The power of the Holy Spirit comes, and they are transformed and they are changed. Not only that, but a leading Samaritan teacher by the name of Simon. He seems to be one who is something of a wonder worker, maybe even a mystic, or maybe even a magician himself. He has a great following, but he follows Jesus and he gives himself to the Lord. And we'll see in a little while the sequel to this story. But here we see the words of Jesus beginning to come to pass, where Jesus said, "You will be my witnesses in Judea and Samaria and to the uttermost parts of the earth." And so this part of the story is moving the gospel, and through persecution moving the gospel out from the immediate environs of Jerusalem and Judea to the next step, to the Samaritans, who are that one step beyond the close-knit community of the Jews. God is always calling us to listen to him and not to just stay behind our walls. And even when the persecution comes, they don't close in, but they actually go out. We have news to tell of amazing value and of amazing power. And we see it here as Philip goes, and as he shares the good news of Jesus, we see people transformed. People still need that transformation of Jesus today, wherever we find ourselves. Have a very good June the 11th.